Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today I'm going to speak about soul contracts. You heard me right, soul contracts. What are they and why are they here to begin with? Who made them? And most importantly, how you can set yourself free from them or break away from them. But before we get into it, let me just explain a few things about what exactly are these soul contracts. Now, I had a few of you reach out and they wanted a video regarding this because I did mention it on one of my lives or something like that. But this is the way it works out. Before we even come down to this planet, okay, because like I've said many times, we are multi-dimensional beings that exist in so many different levels. But before we come down to this physical reality, we have a group, okay? A group of souls, if you want to call them that we kind of just hang around and we learn lessons together. Okay, I'm going to make it as simple as I can here. So think of it as a school, and you all participate and you all learn lessons. So the soul group can be as little as 5, 6, 7 souls to as many as thousands of souls. Okay? And what does this basically mean? It means that every time you reincarnate, let's say, into this physical reality, because you've been playing this dance in other realities as well. But every time, let's say, you come down to this reality, because this is where we are right now, right? You interchange, you play different roles. So, for example, let's call this soul Jack, and the other one Mary, and the other one Susan, whatever, right? We'll say, hey, Jack, you know what? In this lifetime, I think I'm going to be your dad. Next one, I'm going to be your dad, and so on. And you just exchange roles. You play different roles. You're an actor, okay? And as you play these roles, you learn. This is how our souls grow, expand, and evolve, right? We learn from that stage play. But it's nothing more than a play. Sometimes they're going to be the bad ones, right? And other times in a different reality, you're going to be the bad one, and so on and so on. They're going to be the poor ones or the broke ones, and you're going to be the rich one. And vice versa. They're going to be rich and you're going to be broke, and so on and so on and so on. You're going to be healthy and they're going to be whatever sick, and vice versa. There's so many different possibilities. They are endless. Now, like I said, they choose to incarnate together, right? One will die earlier, this and that, but in reality, nobody dies. It's a game, it's a play, all right? And that's why when we see, for example, even in this reality, when we see, let's say, let's say a stage collapses or something major happens, right? And you see a lot of people, for example, dying together. This has been predetermined by them before. You're going to tell me who on their right mind wants to die? It's not about dying. It's about soul expansion, okay? Because you can never die. Think of it as an act, just like you see in the movie, okay? And you see these actors shooting and dying, and blowing themselves up and all that. It's an act. It's a game. It's a very, very real game, okay? At least it seems to us real in this reality. And for the life of us, we can't figure out why a soul would want to go through that, right? Well, the key and the secret is that they know why. Nobody else does. They and their soul group knows why they are going through whatever it is that they need to go through. Okay? Who knows on a higher level what kind of agreements they made. Okay? Now, the point to this is that you have true power over what you want to do and what you don't want to do right here, right now, in the present moment. Because, you see, your higher self, again, is here. Who you really are is here. Okay? And as a result, you might decide all of a sudden and say, I don't want to play anymore. I'm done. Because for whatever reason, you're going through something that you don't like. You can change that. You see, when we say a soul contract, it's not in the words that we think today. Nobody takes a pen and paper and writes a contract and there's consequences and all that stuff. No, there isn't. You're going to tell me what's going to happen with the other souls if you break that contract. Nothing. They're going to move on. Because again, it's all about you, yourself, and themselves for that matter. So if, for example, something is happening in your life right now and you simply don't want to go through it anymore, you can turn around and you can say, I simply, whatever contract I have agreed to or signed, I break away from it. I break free from it. You don't even need to give a reason. You simply declare your freedom. You're severing it from that moment on. Now, what is the advantage of this? The advantage of it is that you are already growing and expanding as you do it in the present moment. When you declare this, what is it that you are declaring? You are taking your power back. Okay? Make no mistake, everybody you come in contact with, let's say, other souls that were in the journey, just the fact that you broke away is also teaching them something. They're still going to grow. They're still going to evolve because of you breaking off. Now, there's no consequences to this. You know what I mean? Absolutely zero. There's only growth. There's only expansion. There's only evolution when we talk about soul evolution. So when you see somebody that is going through a very, very hard time, compassion, of course, is key. Don't get me wrong here. But we need to understand on a higher level that they chose to be where they are. And as sometimes ridiculous as it sounds, because sometimes we just can't fathom, how can somebody, for example, want to be homeless? Just giving you an example. Sleeping out in the streets, under the bridge, not having food. Why on earth would they put themselves in that? That's what we're thinking here, right? But from their perspective, from their higher self perspective, where they see that it's all a game and they see that it's, only for their expansion and for their growth, then it's a different ball game. Think about it like this. What would happen if you were driving on a mountain, right? And the road was all, curves, right? You had like corners and you can't really see what's coming from the other side. When you are driving your vehicle on the mountain and you come to a turn, all right, you can't see what is coming from the other side because you are in the game. You are on the ground. Now, think about that as being you here in the physical reality. Now, think about if you had a helicopter following you as you drive, or better yet, a drone following you, and you have access to it. Right? Your drone is connected to your vehicle, and your vehicle has a screen, and you see exactly what the drone is seeing. Now, from that perspective, right, the drone can see what is coming from the other side. So it would notify you, or you could see it directly as well. And what would happen? You can see that there's a truck coming. You're not going to, do something silly and crash into it. You're going to move over or whatever the case might be. So think of it as the drone is your higher self. It's who you really are on a higher perspective. And your physical body is driving. You see, your higher self knows what's happening. And your higher self knows even why, you were there to begin with. To start off with. Why, what was the reason? So even though we don't understand from this physical reality why something is happening to us, from a higher soul perspective or your higher self, everything is clear, crystal clear. You need to be exactly where you are in order to grow, expand, and evolve. But like I said, if you want to break free from it, all you need to do is make a declaration and just say to yourself and out loud that from now on, you break every single soul contract that you've had or have, and you are taking full charge of your life right now. There's many benefits to this, by the way. The benefits are that you, the bigger version of you, okay, is here with you in the present moment. And as a result, any soul contract that you had, you're not bound to it. You're not tied to it. So you have more freedom to live the life that you want to live here in this physical reality. Okay? There's great power in that. You don't have to do it, but I'm just saying, if you want to, be, the best version of yourself, let's say, and you think that you've learned whatever you need to learn on a soul level, then by all means, you can break free from it too. All right? Now, love and light, no matter what you do, be the greatest you. Always shine bright. Leave me some comments. And again, don't forget memberships. All right? You can check out the story here as well. And videos, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, the times, 9 a.m. and every Sunday live at 12. Love and light. Bye for now.